Welcome to Emirates News, broadcasting from Dubai. I'm Ramya Faraj. Tonight's headlines. The president sends condolences to the Tanzanian president on the Lake Victoria ferry disaster. The vice president receives a letter from the Kuwaiti prime minister. In the business, the UAE's gross bank assets reached 2.8 trillion dirhams. Sport, a focus on the success and rapid expansion of the Arabian Epic Series.
Coming up in the sport, after Tiger's historic win last night, could he be returning to play in Abu Dhabi? And in the studio, we talk about the success of the Arabian Epic Series and its global plans for the future. Now, in just over a month, the first race in the Arabian Epic Series gets underway in Dubai. Its timing in the calendar fills a long-standing void in the global mountain bike racing year, and its rapid growth is testament to that. There are 7 stages planned for the UAE Series and a 5-stage event planned for March in Oman. Jordan is also preparing to host its season of races next February. That's not to mention the fact that a World Series in conjunction with Ironman is very much in the planning. It's quite the story for such a new venture. As a result, I'm delighted to welcome back to Emirates News Jason Byrne, the founder and mastermind behind the Arabian Epic Series. Jason, thank you so much for coming back in to see us. As I quickly mentioned there, you've expanded so quickly with these new events. Just very, very quickly, just run through what is happening in UAE, Oman and Jordan.
Yeah, Graham, I think last year was like a feasibility year for us. So I looked at having 5 races to see, was the terrain here, was the demand here, could I see this as a viable project? Oman, we knew obviously had terrain and they had stage races before previously. Jordan is very interesting because they haven't held anything at this level before. We were very fortunate that indeed here within the UAE, it's fantastic in terms of the weather. We've already got a base of cyclists here. The terrain is amazing. We've had great buy-in from Jordan, where we had senior delegates from Jordan come over to us about 2 weeks ago now, and they're looking to sign a 5-year deal with us to run a significant stage race there, which goes north to south of the country, and it takes in all the historical sites and the Dead Sea. So quite dramatic race. Yeah, so it's fantastic so far. It's been a great story.
It certainly is. And as I mentioned there, the Ironman conversation is more than a conversation, isn't it? They're planning a global series, and with you at the very heart of it.
Yeah, well, Ironman decided to buy into this sport effectively. I guess they looked at the demographic of the athletes that they had on their books. They looked at having like the Ironman 70.3, and they expanded their income stream as much as they could. Then they looked at most people, the swim is difficult for them or the run is difficult, but most of the triathletes or would-be triathletes, they enjoy to cycle. But Ironman still have this ethos, they still have to live up to the standard of it's very difficult to finish. So they looked at all sports and they identified cross-country marathon and stage racing in particular as ticking all the boxes. They've decided then, they bought the world's largest stage race, which actually has the same classification as the Tour de France. And that's effectively going to be their Kona of the World Series. They went on an acquisition spree then, they bought up races around the world, and so far I think they have somewhere between 8 to 10 races, what they call A races at the moment. But with the World Series, it can operate for 8 months of the year. If you think of the rest of the world really, especially winter time, it's very difficult to have an off-road or a cross-country race, let alone cross-country train or test new equipment in readiness for next season. But the rest of the world's off-season is actually our peak season. So we are in a unique position globally, and I truly believe that if the World Series wants to run a 12-month of the year calendar, then they should really look at Arabia and the UAE as, we should really have that discussion at some point in the future.
Just quickly, because we are running out of time, I want to just bring it back to locally again and the Arabian Epic Series here in this region. I know you were talking to me earlier, and you see new people signing up for the races every other day. We talked about it last time, but you really do have the complete mix of not novices, but people that are reasonably fit and competent on bikes, but also the real big names in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, what's great is transitioning the road riders and triathletes here into this sport, because it's not so technical, it's more of an endurance sport. But we've been very fortunate. One of the world's, let's say, top 10 pro teams, the owner came to visit me in Dubai, and they've signed now a long-term contract with us to be our global race ambassadors. So these guys race all over the world. They'll be carrying the Arabian Epic brand on their chest, and really it's fantastic exposure for the UAE and for Arabia in general.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate your time again here, Jason. Best of luck. Congratulations on the expanding Arabian Epic series, and do come and see us again when you're even more global.
Thanks very much, Graham.